Hello and welcome back to BlueTube. So, considering it is the international break, we just thought that we'd have a quick roundup, really, if you like, a little bit of a catch up, talk about the season so far, what's been going right, what has not been going so right, and just kind of give our views on it as a whole. Take a step back a little bit. We're bored. Come on, give us a break. So, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, it's not been too bad, has it? So thanks for joining us today. If you've got any comments, leave them. No, not really. There's a bit more to talk about, isn't there? Yeah, it was just, I had this idea of just like sort of these international breaks can be bloody boring. And I was listening to WM on the way home from work, as you usually do, yesterday. And someone was on about talking to Richard Wilford, I think, just going on about how no one tends to look forward to these internationals anymore. We're not going to even talk about the internationals. Don't even know we're playing. It's Wales,
Playing
isn't it?
Wales tomorrow.
Yeah, I had to think.
The time of recording.
And I don't know, I used to really be up for the internationals, just not anymore. So I thought, let's just have try and make it interesting. Bit of an update on Blues, what's going on, where we are, how we found it's been, and from there, really, it'd be interesting just as a bit of a topic to encourage a few people to put some comments and give something, to look at. So basically, I was just going to sum up. We are currently 16th in the championship at the moment on 12 points, and it's still fairly early on in after 9 games. We are only 3 points away from the playoff positions, which is going to be it's going to be tight, and it keeps us in the mix, doesn't it? Yeah. So there's nothing to be worried about at this point in the season. What's your thoughts where we are at the moment?
Well, taking a step back and looking at the games that we've lost, it really was Port Vale, wasn't it, when we started having that downturn. We lost 1-0. Of course, we put our second string. You can even call it that, really. It was kind of just, it was a proper jumble up of players. We had that Ducks playing, if memory serves, and it was his first time wearing a Birmingham City shirt. And from there, we had that defeat against Leicester, where I didn't think that we played badly. It was just 2 moments of quality from Leicester, and it was 2 goals. It's a team that's just come down from the Prem. That's to be expected. Stoke, a little bit more of a sour performance, but yet again away from home. And Stoke aren't looking too bad this season under Mark Robbins. And we beat Swansea at home. Not an easy game at all. Yes, we lost by quite the margin against Coventry, 3-0. But look who they've battered so far. I mean, they beat QPR. What was it? 7-1 or something like that. And QPR have started to turn it on. They're not doing bad. And if you watch that game, you'd think immediately, my God, what's going on with QPR? They're going to be sailing down the table. But I think just looking at Coventry, they're just an anomaly this season. They're doing incredibly well.
I'm sure. I know I did. I'm sure you did. We both said Cov were going to be the dark horses this year on our sort of pre-season preview. And they're turning out to be even more than that, aren't they?
I mean, exactly.
Frankie Lampard has got them playing really, really, really well. And I don't think he'll be going there. There was some talk about him being nicked for a Prem club.
If he knows what's best for him, he'll stick it out at Coventry.
Yeah, absolutely. Build up a bit of a good back in, really, and put a CV together on what he's doing now. And keep that going as long as he can.
I know I'm glossing over them here.
No, it's absolutely fine.
Sheffield Wednesday as well, 2-2, which was disappointing, really. I'll be honest, that was probably the one that I was disappointed with the most. And I know that sounds bizarre considering the Coventry City score, but I just think a team like Sheffield Wednesday at home, yes, we knew that they were going to come here and battle, but with everything going on there at the moment, and the fact that we've just come off the back of a 3-0 defeat, we should have gone into that game home again. That it couldn't have been more perfectly timed, that game. We should have gone into it and done a better job, but we didn't lose our record at home. That's still going. We got a draw in the end, so I suppose that is.
Well, it's like we said at the time. That was the one that stopped the rot for me.
Yeah, right.
We've built on that again with a really tricky, what could have been an even more tricky away 1-1 at Wrexham.
Yeah,
and I thought, it's first half we've been talking about, and we've already done a review of that as well. I think it was a good result.
Yeah.
Things haven't been as bad. I mean, you know what I'm like. I always go off on a tangent and predict that we're going to do this because it's like this new Blues thing. But Chris Davis basically summed it up on one of the press conferences. We've got absolutely no right to think that we can walk this division. And much as it's good to have hope and be really positive about it going forward.
Have hope. It's just a reality check, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it basically is. But I'm still I'm still really hopeful that we can turn a bit more on because, and I don't want to make this sound like it probably will, but yeah, and I was going to say, can things get worse? Yeah, of course they can get worse. It can get much worse. But I think we've had a bit of this reality check, and I think we know the expectations of our players. We know that there's more in our engine.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that we can kick on, and I'd love to see us really push on. The positive thing is, and we'll get to the players in a bit, because I do want to go through some of the new players, probably not all of them, but we've got some players coming back in, which we'll discuss. But probably a good point to go on to this, actually. And I've got a list of the new players that we've signed this year. And I hope you've got the list, but I can go through them anyway.
I can see them.
Is there anyone there that you wanted to talk about? We don't have to go through all of them, but anyone in particular, because it'd be interesting to see what people's thoughts are on what our new players have been. Now, can I kick us off? And I want to sort of backtrack a little bit on what I've said about Beadle. And I did this in our last video a little bit because I was really worried about how Beadle would be. But you know what? Putting those neutral glasses on, I do think that he's going to be a decent keeper.
Oh, it's not going to be a bad keeper now.
The only concern I've got is with Blues, with their targets and their ambitions with this season, I don't want us to be a club where you can come and just like try us out and just like build up a bit of confidence. I want us to be a club and a team which we will only play our cream of the crop and our best players. We don't want to be a team where we just, we'll play Kumas for Liverpool, get him built up a little bit. He can make all his mistakes here. I want us to be a team that, no, we will only play players on their merit if they're ready and if they're going to give us something. And I'll backtrack a little bit on Kumas as well, because I thought the last game he played well. That second half, he really had that bit of passion, that bit of bite about him.
Yeah.
But Beadle, I think he's going to be, for me, I don't still think that he has elements to his game that is better than Allsop. Someone mentioned on the comments, and thanks for bringing the comments into this, guys, about commanding the area. Yeah, he seems to have that about him, comes out for a bit more. But Allsop has that. He hasn't done that as much, but he does have that. But I do think what Allsop has globally with his distribution, his shot stopping, which, there's been a couple of not so good sort of elements to that recently. But for me, I'd rather go with the experience. But I do think that Beadle is a decent keeper, all in all.
It's what you get from young players, though, isn't it? And we spoke about this before, especially with Kumas. When they're juvenile, they can be a bit naive. I think with Lewis Kumas, he's always shown that bravery and courage. He's got a lot of energy, and it worked in his favour against Wrexham. I just think sometimes he's verging on looking like a little bit of a headless chicken, but he'll get that played out of his game when he's had some decent management around him and he's getting some proper game time. All he needs is a bit of experience, and he could be a proper player. But I agree with what you're saying there. Could be a proper player eventually at Liverpool or somewhere else, and you're just building them up, and that is a frustrating thing. But unfortunately, the position that we are in, Dad, and probably will be in for a long, long time, we're not going to be able to get away from that. Look at the likes of Brighton and Southampton. I think even Leicester as well, feeding Premiership clubs. That's just part and parcel of the game, unfortunately, unless you build it up from your homegrown talent, of which we haven't really seen too much of, have we? I remember in the pre-season, we had Zaid Betteke play a few games, and he looked quite bright.
Oh, he looked amazing, didn't he?
But we haven't...
Against Seville, where he set up Keshi Anderson for that, got the first goal.
Well remembered, yeah.
He looked superb, and he was just running at them, scaring them to death.
And to do that to
Seville just beat Barcelona. I think they beat Barcelona 4-1 last week. Fantastic.
Team like Seville.
We've already beat them.
But that's actually a really good point. We haven't really had a look at our academy players. They haven't really been able to have a sniff at the first team. Not to say that I think any of them should. We've only seen a little bit of that Betteke, but going on your point about building players up for other clubs. Anyway, we're rambling on. Talking about some other new players. Just going off of your list here, we've had a few words to say about them, but Bright, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting. Bright is supposedly fit again. He's with his national squad, Nigeria, and I have put down they're playing Lesotho and Benin. I've not even heard of them, but he's supposed to be fit. But yeah, and I don't want to go on about, and I certainly don't want to target players, but it's going to sound like I am. Bright, honestly, I couldn't have picked much between Laird and Bright when he first started, I thought he looked confident, he looked good, he looked fast coming forward. But he seems like his confidence has really been knocked just lately.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
clearly a confidence player.
Hmm.
And it hasn't gone great for him recently. And I'd rather be one to G him on and bring him on that way. But do we? It's hard. You've got to give him minutes for him to be able to do that. But then, and I know Led, and I've got a little list of the injured players so we'll go on to that. But Led's going to be out for a while by the looks of it. So I think he's going to be picked above the others because the other one on the list is Neumann. I don't think he's been disappointing, but I think he just needs to settle in. How long do you give a player to settle in? The only problem we've got with the position Davies wants him to play in, that means moving Clara onto his left foot, whereas Clara is absolutely amazing playing in his preferred position on the right side centre back.
I think it's easy to point at players and say that they're not doing very well when results aren't going your way. I think that can get overinflated a little bit as well. You look right up the top of the pitch, and for Furuhashi, he's got the same issues too. But we know that there's a good player in there. And I've said this before. You look on paper, this brighter side Samuel is, once again, on paper, our best player. You look at his track record, look at how he did in Turkey. And Nigeria seems to flop with his form as well. 1 minute I've noticed fans saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread. And then the other time, like you said, they're saying that he should never put on a Nigerian shirt again. So, it seems to be real peaks and troughs with him. Or maybe that's just the fans. I'm not entirely too sure. I think most certainly the best is yet to come out. I think there's a real strong player in there somewhere. And it's going to be one of those team things. Once the unity and we start really moving and we get some momentum as a football club, that's where we'll see the best of a player like this.
That's the difference from last year at the moment, and it's still very, very early yet.
Absolutely.
Do you remember we were saying like harmony and unity and things like that a lot? That's there, but not as strong as it was, in my opinion. I didn't say for me this time, did I? Because that's what I keep saying, isn't it? In my opinion, we'll see more of that. I think you're absolutely right. I think once that they start gelling, because he really is early on yet. I mean, Neumann's going to get a chance to get back into the squad at some point. And we'll move on to Jack Robinson now. I think that apart from the little blip with Coventry, and that was just him being passionate, trying to rescue it back again. I think he was unlucky to get the second yellow. I've mentioned that twice now in videos. But apart from that, I think he's exactly the type of player we need. He's very similar to your Ben Davies that we had last year, and I'd love to have seen him back, to be honest, because we had a formed partnership there. Could they have stepped into the Championship? Well, Clara's proved he can, because for me, he's one of our man of the match every game for me. But I think Jack Robinson's he's only played a couple of games, and he's doing all right for me. What do you think on him?
I'm immediately inclined to say, I wish we had Ben Davies. And, I think a lot of fans might agree with me on that. Not really anything to say against Jack Robinson. I don't think he's been given enough time to make such an assessment on him yet. And where he has played, you speak about the yellow cards. I do think that he deserved to be sent off there. I think we differ with that. But I don't think he's been
I can see why it was given.
Yeah.
It was just harsh, wasn't it?
But, when I think to compare him with Ben Davies, not that it matters now, I'm not going to go on about this too long, but that was in League One. This is the Championship. It's a completely different level.
That's what I'm saying. Could they have stepped up together as a defensive partnership?
Yeah, and people compare Alfie May with Furuhashi. Can you really compare them? Really? You've got to take into account Alfie May's never played in the Championship before. And let's not forget how Alfie May suffered last year in the Championship. He had his drought, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, I think a bit of perspective on that wouldn't go too far amiss. I don't think he set the world like Jack Robinson, and I don't think that he ever will do, really, for Birmingham City. I just think he's at that stage of his career. But is he a decent player to stick at the back when you need him? Yeah. Will he do a job for you? I'm sure he will do, and I've seen that so far.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of players that are really...
we'll just whittle through them because, Cashin, the jury's out on him. I don't think he's strong as Jack Robinson. Fujimoto hasn't really been given a look in.
I can't remember where I heard this, or someone said this is going to be another podcast that I've watched. They're worried about this Kenya Fujimoto just becoming another Yokoyama. Where is he? I mean, he came back from his injury. We saw a spell of him at Port Vale. He came on for 5 minutes or
I
so
think that was the
somewhere else.
best game to see him because that was just a battle, not his type of football whatsoever, was it?
Yeah, but is he just going to be one of those that peters out and just ends up getting shipped on, do you think?
Yeah,
Or is there more
possibly.
to come? Because
Possibly.
we're not seeing much of him, are we?
No,
So it'll be
no.
interesting to see what happens with him there. Supposed to be in a position that we've been crying out for, someone decent in there, the number 10 position, central attacking midfielder. And for whatever reason, Chris Davis just isn't seeing the right things in him. Or maybe not.
Do you know
we
what?
Don't know.
The sad part is, if we'd have stayed in the cup, in the League Cup, would we have seen someone like him playing number 10 to Kyogo number 9 and seen that partnership that may already be a link to? I mean, I've never seen them play together, but they're both Japanese internationals of sorts, aren't they?
Well, this is what we were talking about, isn't it? As a DM, you've got a Wata, and then you could have in the attacking midfield role. So I've even forgot his name already, Fujimoto, and then up front for Furuhashi. In an ideal world, that would have been perfect. 3 Japanese internationals, but it doesn't always work out like that, and clearly it doesn't here. But another player that also hasn't been getting as much time, but a lot more talk about him because of his performance against Sheffield Wednesday and the fact that he's played in the Premier League. Tommy Doyle.
Yeah.
What's that? He must be thinking, what have I got to do to get on the pitch?
Well, I think we're all thinking that to a certain extent, and obviously we don't know all the facts, do we? Because we were led to believe that when he was taken off, when he was having a great game against Sheffield Wednesday on the hour, that it was to keep him fresh for the Wrexham game.
That's right.
And he didn't even start. And then he got like 9 minutes of normal time, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that sort of threw me a little bit. I don't know if he's got a bit of a knock or if I honestly don't know, but it's one of them. It's someone we've got to see a lot more of.
In Chris Davis,
you have. Yeah. Leading us on, staying in midfield to Patrick Roberts, who's just come from Sunderland. He's only on loan, but certainly showing his worth for me at the moment.
Really, really well for us, and I'm just
getting assists, getting goals now.
Set up Lyndon Dykes the other week to score again, and has scored a goal of his own now against
important goals.
And a really well taken goal as well.
Yeah,
I think that he might. I mean, early days for him, of course, but I think he might be instrumental for us.
Yeah,
going forward, wherever we finish in the league, I think we'll be looking back at the end of it, and he'll be one of the first names that we talk about for his contributions. He offers something different, really good with his dribbling, knows how to pick out a pass, and isn't afraid of getting a ball in the box, which is something that we've been crying out for, really. So I've been impressed with him.
Yeah, same here. Here's an easy one, Damari Gray. Go on.
Wonderful, just been an absolutely fantastic player. I think there's moments in the game where you just know that the guy that you're looking at has played in the Premier League and stuck the landing in the Premier League as well, and made it his own. Just the way that he takes touch on the ball, his class on the ball, and the fact that he's a Birmingham City fan just really adds a cherry on top, doesn't it? I like having Birmingham City fans in that team. You got Ryan Alsop and Damari Gray. You get proud of things like that. And it's. I'm still shocked that he's come back at 28 years of age as well. The prime of his career to Birmingham.
But that to get that equaliser against Wednesday, though.
It was a wonderful moment. I just wish it was under better circumstances. But you know what? For him to get his goal like that, for him personally, it would have meant the world. And with that momentum now, hopefully he can push on and get a few more for us.
Moving on then. We'll make this the last one because we've pretty much covered all of them. Marvin Duksh, I'm a bit disappointed. And I don't know what to be disappointed with because he looks like he could be the part. But then to go and get injured in warm-up, no, that's just either damn unlucky or, when you're thinking, like, is he just, like, throwing a sickie? I mean, it's bad to say that, but...
Nah,
I know.
It's not going to be down to that at all. No.
I don't even know how long he's out for.
No, I'm not entirely too sure.
I've looked, and I think on FootMob it said the end of the month, middle of October, end of October, so I'm hoping it's only enough, but... Come on, Marvin, get stuck in.
It's kind of hard to give an assessment of him, really. From what we've seen of him in those glimpses, taking it out of the Port Vale game, good player, quite technical.
Knows how to lay a ball off, gets in good positions, runs up
really
players.
Good positions. Yeah, and his short passing's really good.
Unlucky with that one that went through the keeper's legs, just caught the heel, didn't it?
Yeah,
That could have been his first goal.
The Swansea game, was it?
Yes, Swansea, yeah.
Yeah, I think from what we've seen of him, overall, promising. There's a player in there and someone who could be really valuable for us. But I just hope that he's not one of these that picks up an injury every other week.
That's the concern, because we signed him with an injury. he didn't start for us at the start of the season because he had a knock.
Yeah.
So
I don't
that is a
think it. I
worry.
don't think it will be. You know, you look at the recruitment now. They would have done their due diligence. They'll know who they're looking at and whether they're going to be injury prone or not. And I think when he comes back, hopefully for good this time, and doesn't keep limping off with these what seems to be minor injuries. I don't know if the one that he had in the warm up is related to the one that he had when he first signed for us, or if it's a different one. I can only imagine that they'll be related, and he just hasn't quite worked it out.
It was almost like the snowball effect. You know, like it was the Cov game, wasn't it? The warm up for the Cov game.
It was, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And that was just like it just got worse, didn't it? It was almost like the players come out, didn't start. The game was just a damn squib from Blues' point of view, and Cov just absolutely walked it from that.
It went against us from
it was
the start.
just such a bad start, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but
it's
gone.
It's gone.
So it's gone.
Right, what else can we talk about there?
So I just wanted to update us on the injuries, really, and I'll just whirl through these. So, like I say, Bright is now fit. He's off with Nigeria. He's got a couple of internationals with them. I just really want him to have a couple. I might try and find these games actually and have a look. I think one's Friday against Lesotho, and then Benin next week. Because we probably will lose him for the African Cup of Nations, won't we, over winter?
Yeah, when that comes along, yeah, for a month.
And then we don't get Laird back, which leads me on nicely. He's out with his hamstring. I read one report that they were hoping to have him back at the end of October, which is absolutely no chance. It's more likely January, and that's hopefully. It's a nasty hamstring. I think it's a hamstring tear by the sounds of it.
Right.
So Lee Buchanan is due back in the next few weeks. That's what the latest is on him. So I'm hoping he's in training, as are Willemson and Scott Wright. So that would be nice to add them into the mix, just to get the strongest squad you can to have competition for places. There's no other injuries to be concerned with. I mean, it's been bad enough for Blues. I mean, and Dutch, I don't know. I don't know what the score is with him. So whether he's fit now, because there was nothing that I could find. It's just a case of getting through the this international blinking break and hopefully get back to it. But there was a little thing I put here. You were talking about Yokoyama. Just like to sort of catch up on how they're getting on. I've only done a couple of players. So Yokoyama's not getting into the Ghent team where he went off to in Belgium. He's had no games for them. He's only getting in the reserves, bits and pieces.
So I'm not laughing at that actually. I don't want people to think I'm laughing at the Yokoyama thing. Not at all. It's just I noticed under there that for some reason you put Ollie Burke on there, and I just really You don't
listen to this then. Ollie Burke is currently in the Bundesliga with FC Berlin, Union Berlin. He scored 3 and 6. He left Werder Bremen in July to go to Berlin, and he's scoring.
He scored a hat trick the other week, I know.
Yeah,
Dad, we're not going to go into this.
No, we're not going to go too far into
honestly,
it. Just goes to show. I mean,
I think that
he was awful for us, but he had a torrid time with us. But
I think he is probably the worst player I've ever seen in a Birmingham City shirt. I really do think that. Still now, just thinking back to the likes of Jonathan Lecker. Who else have we got? Oh, do you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. Worst player in the Blues shirt. Let's go on to something.
Well, every time I mention a player that I thought was awful for Blues, I get comments like, "Oh, I thought he was fantastic."
You won't get that with Ollie Burke.
He was a great dancer,
especially
on TikTok.
Cosgrove, he was another awful one as well. I've got a few now. Cosgrove. It was Clayton, Adam Clayton as well. He was pants. Yeah, there's a few. There you go. I've got it out of my system now. Right, you wanted to talk a bit about Tom Wagner.
Put in the comments who you thought was a really bad player for Blues. Come on, let's see what your thoughts are.
Oh, there'll be a few. We've had a few.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So you wanted to talk a little bit about Tom Wagner here.
Yeah. Now, at half-time at Wrexham, Tom Wagner was in the away end, as we all know, and he gave a bit of a pep talk, and some other fans from other clubs are absolutely slating it as being cringeworthy. And I tell you what, it worked for Blues, didn't it? He got them. We literally scored from kick-off. He got the fans fired up. Yeah. And for me, and I think Tom Wagner for doing that is absolutely brilliant. I love Tom Wagner.
Well, Brian from the KRO podcast said this, and they were speaking about the exact same thing. Other fans of other clubs thinking that it's cringe. Well, have a bit of perspective and think from a Birmingham City's fans' point of view. Less than a couple of years ago, less than 3 years ago, we didn't even know who our owner was. We had no idea. All we knew is that they were killing our club
Brilliant point.
from the inside out. And now, fast forward a bit, not only do we have a brilliant owner, he's in the bloody away end with us.
Yeah, drinking a pint.
Drinking a pint in hand.
Getting the
Geeing us
But
up.
people have been convinced. Do you know, we have
Do you
that. Me and you, we have this thing. You remember that Delia Smith thing where she's like, "Where
Where
are you?" Yeah. They're comparing it to that.
Oh, right, no, and
Some of the fans are comparing. It's nothing like that, is it?
It's not.
Nothing like that.
I don't even think.
Let's be having you.
All right, that's enough. I don't even think it compares to like that cringe, typical American sentiment of just going a bit over the top. I didn't even get that from it. Am I biased? Am I wearing rose-tinted glasses with it? Because of course,
Do you know
I'm a
what?
Birmingham City fan. Maybe I am, but I really didn't see it.
If it works for us,
yeah, it doesn't need
it
to
works
work
for us.
It doesn't need to
I
work
don't
for anyone
care
else.
what other people think.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we are Birmingham City. We do what we want.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. And
FEA.
and
FEA.
And once again, I don't think it really matters when you have the perspective of looking at who we used to be ran by. So for me, he can carry on doing that for as long as he wants.
Yeah. I AI'd this about what people's thoughts on that was, and it was mixed reactions from outside fans. Some rival fans have mocked his American style, but do you know what? We've got to embrace this American style, because I tell you what, the fireworks thing, the glam, what it's doing for us.
You see that everywhere now, by the way.
Yeah,
exactly. Fireworks are everywhere.
Exactly.
Aston Villa shortly followed.
Bring it on, because I'm loving it. And yeah, I was a little bit worried at the start. I remember talking to some of the fans when all this was going about. Oh, we're going to lose our clubs. We're going to lose our identity. Now we'll form a new one, but we're keeping hold.
He's too close
identity
to the fans, and I think he's fallen in love with the football club. He spoke about that before. It's not just about business anymore for Wagner. Of course, that'll be the priority. He's a businessman, and he's a very successful one. It's always going to be the priority. But just seeing his camaraderie with the fans and the way that he speaks about us and his passion, he has fallen in love with the football club. That's clear to see. So, Wagner, I'm not going to give you any pointers, mate. You don't need no notes from me. You don't need no notes from anyone by the looks of things. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're absolutely fine.
Well said, that man. Well said. Now, I know you hate this, but just hear me out on this. Hear me out. And I'm going to put a link to a little video on Sky here. And it was Ref Talk on Sky. And it was Matt Donahue talking about, he was the ref for the Sheffield Wednesday game for Blues. And I wanted to just, I'm not going to spend too long on this, people probably already turned off, but I thought this was really bloody interesting from a ref's point of view. And on one hand, I want to commend what he was saying, but on the other hand, say something else as well, because he was talking about, and there was 3 incidents in there, and then he started off.
So hold on, let's just get this right. So this was on Sky Sports, and they were analysing the Birmingham v Sheffield Wednesday game.
Himself was on in the studio, talking about how he got on. And the first incident out of the 3 was, if you remember, we were on the attack. It was when Kumas had come on the left wing. It was Alex Cochrane that had played the ball up the left wing. Kumas was running onto it. The defender slipped and took out Kumas.
And he gave it the other way, didn't he?
And he gave it the other way. And I caught that straight away. I said, he's got that totally wrong way round. And I think everyone else, probably obvious. And the ref was on about, he put his hand up, got it wrong.
Fair play. Right, okay.
You could hear the linesman in his headpiece saying, it slipped, slip, I think he was saying. And have a look, like I say, I'll put the link up. But the ref was on about, anticipating the challenge. They were on the attack and you're just anticipating, like the way they'd gone in, that something was going to happen. And he tried to sort of, and it made me think.
What was he defending himself, or did he put his hands up? Because you said
no,
both.
Putting his hands up, but he was given a reason why he gave it, because of how it looked at the time.
Okay.
And he actually said that he was anticipating this challenge and like what sort of collision may have.
Doesn't fill me with confidence about refereeing in the Championship.
This is what I was going to say, because great, Matt, that you've put your hands up to making a bit of a balls up. But it's almost like, if this is how refs are giving out all these yellow cards and giving off these soft free kicks all the time because you're anticipating a challenge. This is exactly what I thought when he said this. I was like, well, don't anticipate a challenge. Now, I'm no referee. I have refereed games in amateur football, like Sunday League. Towards the end of my playing days, I refereed a lot of games when the ref didn't show up and things like that. And I was always as ambiguous, as impartial as possible. And I always used to say, try and enjoy the game and let the game flow where you can. It's the old way of doing things, and still think that stands now. But you've got referees now that are anticipating a challenge. I'm going to He cannot hardly blow the whistle.
That
Do you know what
quote's
I mean?
right there.
But this is, and that's the first thing I thought of, because don't anticipate a challenge. Blow up if there is a challenge, because you might see a bit of magic. Kumas did nothing wrong. It was, if anything, he took Kumas out, and it should have been a free kick to us in an attacking position.
The key thing for me there is, from what you said, it seems like the communication. You've got a linesman, someone who
listen to him. He was saying it was a slip.
I think it's a slip.
The words that he used,
you're not listening to them.
Yeah,
that's a huge issue.
The words that he used was, although it was a slip, he still thought that it impeded him, and there's like some sort of impediment from Kumas, and there just wasn't. So much as I think that referees, and I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, and I know you've got like 30,000 fans looking at you, but if you can't handle it, don't do it. But that said, you've got to say what you see. It's catchphrase at the end of the day. Say what you see. You won't remember that catchphrase.
We're doing another one of those crazy references.
Bring in the history into it. No, but and the other one was, and it was another balls up for me, although he tried to justify it. Cochrane was fouled in the area, and he clearly hurt his lower back. Went down holding his lower back. But I think we were on the attack. He blew up because he said there was a head injury, and he still said he was holding his head. At no point was Cochrane holding his head. He was holding his back. He went down, and I think his arms were up like this because he was hurt, and he was lying on the floor. And you can look at this on the video. You can look at the old highlights for the Sheffield game as well. And I'm thinking, at no point was he holding his head, but he was still saying, someone had mentioned head injury, and I'm just like, there's no head injury. Look.
It's quite interesting.
But the other thing is, as I work in healthcare, and if the bloke's moving, it's a good sign. Do you know what I mean? If you can see someone moving, it's a good sign. If someone's just lying flat, like prone on the pitch with the face implanted, maybe stop the game then. I think we're going too far. And yes, safety comes into it. But unless someone has got their leg hanging off, or like there's claret everywhere, and claret everywhere is probably a good thing because it means their heart's still beating as well. So, but we won't go too deeply into that. And the other one was when he gave the yellow card. But go and have a look at it to little Messi. What's his name?
Patrick Roberts.
Paddy Roberts. And it was a soft one again, but it just opened my eyes to a few things where I just think and I mentioned about referees giving yellow cards before they've even blown the whistle, and it sort of concreted that a little bit for me. Much as I commend them for coming out and talking to us and telling us what their thoughts are, I think their thought processes need to be a lot simpler.
Is that an individual problem with referees, or is that looking at the bigger picture?
I think looking at the bigger picture, they need to be a lot more open-minded and just let the game flow a little bit. I've got no problem with a ref giving it a few moments before blowing the whistle. I think that's good refereeing. Whereas if you see someone's arm go up as if they're going to make contact and then blowing the whistle, it's just too soon for me.
You got that out of your system. You feel better. You went on for a while there.
A little bit. Yeah, we might have to cut that back a bit, mightn't we?
No, it's good. I mean, it'll be interesting to see your thoughts if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Referee's always going to be a controversial topic in any football game.
Yeah, it is, and I know it's hard.
I said this last season it's not something we can train on the training ground. It's not something we should concern ourselves with. We can't influence it.
I think they overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I suppose so. We can go on all day.
Let's move on. So, I'm pretty wrapped up with the stuff I wanted to discuss. Really, it's just looking forward to the next fixture now, which will be
against Hull City away, and they've really surprised me. I've got a bit of egg on my face here because I think I predicted Hull City to go down, and my reasoning was, and I quote, because they're pants. But they've really surprised me. I think Ollie McBurney has really saved them. He's been on fire for them. From what I can tell, I don't want to go into this too much. I imagine we'll do our own pre-match for this close to the time.
Unless you want to vlog it, but we can have a look at that when we get there.
Potentially, yeah. Sorry, did I say that this was away? I can't remember.
No, it's at home. It
is at home, isn't it? Sorry, yeah. I was wondering what you're talking about. Yeah, we could vlog it or do a pre-match. We'll figure that out as we get close to the time. They're scoring a lot of goals, but they're also shipping a lot of them as well. They're defending,
conceding a few, aren't they?
It's a bit of an issue. So it depends. It's not going to be as easy as potentially we might have thought at the beginning of the season. It's not just going to be a walk in the park. It'll be a decent test for us. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah,
Other than that, I haven't really got anything.
No, that's it. So we're all done. So thanks if you've stayed to the end, especially with the ref talk.
No, it's all right.
If you haven't already and you like how we do things here on BlueTube, give us a little subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe to us. We don't expect anything, and it's just nice to be able to put a little bit out there. We have a bit of fun doing this. This is all it is for us, and we've been doing it for a year now, haven't we?
Oh my God, nearly to the day. We started on the 9th of October, didn't we, last year?
Yeah.
In fact, do you want me to just confirm that really quick?
It was, I think, the first time that we put something out. It was about then, wasn't it?
Well,
So it
I'm
was
still
about
going
this
to
time.
confirm it.
We'd actually started a little bit early, but didn't put anything out because we thought it was absolutely rubbish. It was just us talking out on the deck, wasn't it? And that's how we started on the deck, and it's sort of grown a little bit, and we really enjoy it. And there's a few people out there doing it. We've got to know a lot of them as well, like Jay and Nick, a few of the other lads as well, Tommy.
No, you were right. I remember you saying the other day that it was the 3rd. I thought it was the 9th that we started, but we uploaded on
So it's
October
just over
3rd.
a year then.
Just over a year.
Just over a year.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, well done, son. So yeah, give us a little subscribe, give us a like. Obviously, if you do like it, don't like it. If you don't like it, just skip past it. All right, but carry on putting the comments in. We do read all of them. Try and respond to as many as we can as well. But we'll see you, whether it'll be a preview for the whole game or whether we vlog it. We'll let you know either way. Probably do. We've got plenty of time to go at these bloody internationals. But anyway, try and enjoy the England game if you do. But other than that, keep right on. We'll see you soon. Take care.